Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for being with us today. We're going to ask you a few questions for our organizational behavior CIA. Are you ready for the questions?
Yeah, absolutely, Srijaa.
Could you please introduce yourself, your name, the organization you work for, the nature of business involved, and your designation?
Your scope of work. Okay, right. See, Acha, good evening, team. Thanks for choosing me for your CIA today. I represent Paymark Payment Technologies and Services Private Limited. We are into fintech. We are into payment services. We call our company ePay. That's our brand name. It's a very new organization. We are going to complete 3 years in the month of July this year. And so ePay has actually ventured into the area of digital payment in the B2B sector. We haven't still gone B2B2C. As the companies you know about Paytm, Google Pay, Razorpay, Bharat Pay, and all that, they have already gone B2B2C. But we actually work through our distribution network, and the retailers have to come to their shops to get our services. So it goes through the distribution network that we have. And for the services, there are DMT, there are Aadhaar Pay, there are Aadhaar AEPS, like other best payment services, and there are recharge bill payment, insurance, there are MATM, there are MPOS. Okay, like we offer a gamut of services from a single platform. We call it fintech as because we are providing the financial services using the technology. That's it.
Your designation?
My designation, I'm the founder director of the company. I work basically in the capacity of the chief treasury, yeah, chief treasury head, but basically I'm the director of the company.
So you must be managing a team. So what are the number of members in your team, and what according to you is an ideal team size?
See, according to the management gurus, the ideal team size is 5. But very few companies and very few managers can stick to that number 5. Okay, why it is 5? Because according to the management gurus, they say when the number is going beyond 5, the team starts losing the individual performance. And when it is below 5, there are skill gaps. It is not covered. All the things that is needed for one department is not covered when there are less than 5 people in the department. So it is ideally 5. For if you ask me, my team size, the direct reportees are 15 in my team. I take reports from more than one division directly, basically from 4 divisions. I take reports, and being the director of the company, I have the scope of taking reports from many other departments as well, which are not usually directly reporting to me every day, but for being updated with my work and for being updated about the information flow, I have the capacity to take reports from other people also. That way it goes up to 40. Okay, I directly interact with 40 people, maybe not regularly, but definitely once or twice in a week, that way.
So the next question is, what are the goals of the team, and are there any group norms or rules that everyone is expected to follow?
See, norms and rules are two very different things. Norms are basically the general expectation that you have out of your employees, right? Those are not documented. Norms are basically, what you're expecting, how you're expecting him to behave, how you're expecting him to deliver, how you're expecting him to interact. Those are the norms. Those are not basically documented, but rules are rules. Rules are definitely documented. Rules has to be documented, otherwise the team will go hayward. They won't know what to do. They are given a specific task. They have asked, they have the goal set for them, and by the rules, following the rules, they go towards that goal. That's what it is. And you also asked me what is the goal of the team, right? A goal of the team is like, because I said I take a report from 4 different teams. So I mean, my goals for the different teams are also different. I take a report from MIS team. MIS team is management information flow. Being in the fintech, we have huge number of transactions. We deal with every day huge number of transactions, huge amount of funding, huge amount of settlement, very high amount of commissions coming to us. So MIS team is every day calculating, every minute basically they are calculating that we are supposed to get this, we have received this, so what is the difference, or there is no difference. Whenever there is a difference, they immediately raise their flag. I take report from HR as well. HR goals are completely different. Okay. And then I take different from funding team. Funding team is fintech. It's a very common term. People are depositing money in your account and you are giving them virtual load, virtual money you put in their wallet, so that from that wallet they can use our services. Okay, so for this team who are doing the funding, their goal is not to misplace any transaction, any bank transaction. Their another goal is to work within the TAT. That is very important. Somebody has deposited money with us and waiting for us to waiting for our, waiting so that he can start using it to provide our services. So we have to give it within our TAT. So he has deposited now at 9 a.m. in the morning. He cannot go and get it at 2 uh, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, it has to be within the TAT. It is 15 minutes basically. So these are the goals. Okay. Okay. What is the next question, Srijaa?
Is there a specific structure for the team, and what are the roles of the members? Roles that the members are expected to perform?
Roles of the members are, they should be very well defined in any organization. But as I said, when you are running a startup, it gets a little overlapping at times. When I talk about performance and structure, I have to tell you a little about the reporting structure. You must be knowing about the vertical reporting structure. That is the most traditional one. Okay, there are, say, 20 people in the ground level in a team. They are reporting to one manager above them, and that manager is reporting to the higher authority. Okay, there are other teams also, 15 people reporting to one manager, and that manager is reporting to the higher authority. So the higher authority and sitting and taking reporting from the middle management only. He has nothing to do with the best level people. That is basically the traditional way of reporting, vertical reporting. But there are many other reporting also. We basically follow the metrics or hybrid kind of reporting. There are vertical reporting, there are functional reporting, function based reporting. Somebody is doing this, I look after this function from this division also, this division also, so I take reporting from both of them. There are line reporting, there are product wise reporting. Somebody in the MIS is looking after say AMATM, Somebody in the customer care is again looking after MATM. I don't take reporting from the customer care, but when it is coming to product, I have to have a full knowledge about that product. Somebody is somebody is having maintaining the inventory of MATM machines. We buy MATM machines, and somebody in the inventory division is keeping the record of inventory. I don't take daily reporting from the inventory, but when I need a total picture of the MATM service, I have to take this reporting from the inventory person also. Otherwise, it will be half-baked information. Okay, so specific structure, and the answer is we go for hybrid or matrix reporting in this. Okay, any other question?
Yash will be asking you the next set of questions.
Okay, Yash.
So basically, I'll be providing you such with a case study, like a scenario. So you have to ask according to the scenario. Okay. So the scenario is recently you are working with you're facing problem with one of your team member because he is lazy and exhausted. So because of your support, he is able to complete his task. So basically, with this experience you have with him, you know that he is not able to do the high priority task. So how will you overcome that situation?
See, when a person is not delivering properly, being in a very fast moving industry, it is a risk from my end. If I immediately, if for one instance I have to push him for delivering in time, and next day when after he completes it with much follow-ups and all, I again assign him with another very important assignment. That doesn't happen in our case. Okay, very correctly said, very correctly asked. Like when I see that I am having to push somebody, I am having to follow up somebody, I put him out of the leadership leader for the next assignment. I keep taking reports about what is happening, how he is reacting in this case. If he is reacting well, if he is coming up, then fine. He mixes, he makes it up for the next time. But if he is still lagging behind, then then there is a scope that you go deeper into the situation. Probably you ask your HR to get involved in it. Probably if being the manager, you yourself have a very nice interpersonal relationship with your team, you go into a deeper digging in the situation and find out why is it not happening, what exactly is his problem, is he lagging behind because of some knowledge issue, some speed issue, is he not understanding the
Yeah, there can be
importance of
also a
thing.
personal issue also.
Yeah, personal issue, it comes up. I will give you a very small example. Just last week, one person was not delivering. He is into settlement division settles money from the integrators, maybe 6 to 7 times in an hour. He was doing it for a long time. Last two to three weeks back, he was not, he was out of the picture for about say 1 hour 2 hours. Again he was coming back, again he was doing it. So we were very pissed off, like, because money is being stored with the integrator, and which is not a very desirable thing to happen, because money is in constant flow in our kind of business. So then suddenly one day that guy disappeared, or I mean completely. Next day we came to know that his father expired. Can you imagine this I mean, this is very pathetic, very unfortunate for him also, for us also. We could stand behind you. stand behind him in that position. Rather, we were angry with him, we were agitated, we were trying to find out why, what is happening, but we didn't know the exact reason. So personal reason is like, we are human being, we are not robots. So personal reason will come up, and we have to always put this in a very major position, the personal issues, and treat them accordingly.
Okay, nicely answered.
Thanks.
So my next question is, what are some issues and problems the team has been associated with previously?
Issues and problems. See, the issues are like issues can be in work style. Okay, um, some of them work very quickly, move on to the next task as soon as possible, complete their task immediately, understand new things immediately, and some are slow movers. Okay, they take time to understand. So when you put them all together and put it in a speedy assignment, it creates problems. So work style is a major issue that can create your problem. Work experience also can create problem. What kind of experience you're coming from, and if you're delivering the same kind of thing, you'll be definitely faster and more dynamic and better than others. That's it.
Okay, so my last question is like a follow-up question from the previous one. So it is like, how do you handle conflict between your team members?
How do you handle conflict?
Between your team
Okay.
members.
Okay. See, conflict. There are many ways you can resolve a conflict. One very popular, but we don't discuss about it generally. One very popular way of solving a conflict is by avoiding it. You come to know about it, you don't interact to them directly, you find out it, you dig it up in your own way, then you come to your solution, and you just pass on the solution to them. That is the way of avoiding it if necessary. Otherwise, what you can do is you can listen to each of them very carefully, talk to each one involved. You never take any decision on the one-sided story. Talk to each one involved. You identify the points of agreements and disagreements. It cannot be that there are 10 points of disagreements only. You identify the points of agreements and try to find your way through the points of agreements to the point of disagreements. That works. Okay. Anything else, Yash? And is it okay?
No, ma'am. It's thank you, ma'am, so much. Now Sneha will ask a question.
Okay, Sneha. Yeah, please tell me.
So my question is, what are the some ways you have adopted or you will adopt to make your team more effective?
Acha. What are the ways to adapt more effective? Okay, see, again, I will come to the theory part of it. There are some basic elements of organization structure. When you want to make your team more effective, you have to go by that structure. You have to follow that structure, because those structures are based on many years experience and many years studies and R&D by the management gurus. So when you want your team to be very effective, you have to design your job very properly first. You have to have a definite job design. It cannot be that one junior person is joining and doesn't see a structure anywhere, doesn't know what the job basically is. So when you do your job design properly, he will have a proper view and he will work accordingly. Okay. Then you have to do your job grouping. There are cross-functional roles in startups, and in experienced companies also. There are cross-functional roles definitely, but you have to do your job grouping very carefully. You have to do your department designing very carefully. If you haven't done your department designing, if you have involved one person in three different works from three different departments, the chances are that either the employee will be overburdened or the employee might take chances out of it. This manager, he will say that I was busy in that department. This manager, he will say that I was busy in that department. Or else the case actually may be that he is being expected by all the departments so much that he is not able to deliver in time or to the utmost of his capacity. That happens. Okay. Then there is this organizational hierarchy. The hierarchy needs to be very, very well defined. And another last thing, and that very important thing is the coordination between departments. If you don't have coordination between departments, the departments will grow inorganically. This will grow like this will grow like this. There will be no information flow, there will be no bridges to bind them, and these departments' work will not be used by the other department. Probably this department has grown a mango tree. This department is supposed to just take away the mango from here. He doesn't know it. He is growing another mango tree at the same time parallelly. That is consuming extra energy and extra resource of the organization. So this departmental coordination is also very important. All these things together is making your team basically.
Okay, ma'am. So second question is, does the amalgamation of the men and women of the various groups affect the effectiveness of the team?
Various age group.
Yeah.
Sneha, men and women are definitely fine. There is no difference. Like, I love having women in my organization and in my team. Okay. But different age group, when you talk about different age group, there is a question. At 30 years of age, I am doing a job. Why another person is doing the same job at 55 years of age? That means they have huge skill gap between them. So it is very important to think that there is some parity between their deliverables, the capacity. Okay. A person who is very dynamic cannot be tied up with a person who is doing the same thing at 55 years of age, so that he is slowed down by the other person. So various age group, I have my reservations. Gender is absolutely fine and it should be like that.
So my the last question is, what according to you are some internal factors that make your team ineffective and demotivate them?
What are the internal factors? Internal factors will be if the authority is not designed properly. I have given some work to somebody in line under me, and somebody else is calling him and asking him why the other thing assigned by him is not performed in the same time. He's a human being. He can be multitasking, but he cannot be delivering everything at the same time. So if the authority is not defined properly, if the organizational hierarchy is not defined properly, that will definitely demotivate them. Another reason of what did you say? Demotivation is internal conflict to a long way. If you're not listening to them, you're not solving their issues for a long time, they'll be definitely demotivated. And the most important issue for demotivation is wrong appraisal. Everybody is appraised on what they do throughout the year, and if they are not appraised properly, and if there is somebody, say my brother is working with me, but some other people are working much better than him in the same division, and while giving the recognition, while appraising, I take up my brother. It is nepotism. So that is a major factor for demotivation. If they're not appraised properly, if they're not encouraged, if they're not recognized, as I say, at the end of the day.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Now over to Satyam.
Good evening, ma'am. So my first question to you would be, how will you describe your management style?
That's a wonderful question, actually. Okay, my management style. See, I think you must be aware of the different styles that the managers have, right? See, there are autocratic, democratic, there are charismatic, there are coach management, bureaucratic, and there are laissez-faire, right? So again, when you ask me about my management style, I will say that I have a hybrid kind of management style, wherein I will say I am autocratic in the sense that, see, basically I'm a very friendly person. I'm a team member kind of a person. I love working with my team and all that. But when it comes to taking a decision, then I take my own decision. I don't involve my juniors into the decision. I take their opinion, I take their views, I understand the situation, and then I take my own decision. So that way you can call me a autocratic manager, but altogether, when you go into more details, I'm not autocratic at all. I am more charismatic kind of leader, where I go hand in hand into the more details with my team. Whenever a new product comes up, whenever a new assignment comes up, I work as just another executive with them, at least for 15 days to 30 days. When it is in a flow, I leave it, I give them freedom, and I come out of it. I just take reporting from that. So that way, I am more charismatic kind. And another way, because I go a lot into interpersonal relationship. I know what is happening in their family. They know what is happening in my family. I don't expect them to work on this. Those are actually tough on them. I don't expect them. A few minutes back, I was just describing a shocking event where the guy didn't let us know that his father was fighting for life, struggling for life, and he was going to the nursing home every day, was not being able to deliver properly. That was very shocking for us, because we believe in this charismatic kind of leadership. Okay, it was a great violation from that. It is not expected that you are not coming up to us and discussing your problems. And last of all, I'll come to this laissez-faire kind of management. That is very, very common nowadays. Laissez-faire is you give a lot of freedom to your team. You don't even take daily reporting for them. Now, when it comes to me, I give a lot of freedom to my team, but I take daily reporting from my team. Otherwise, the business will stop if I don't take reporting, because this is a transaction-based and reporting-based industry. Is it okay, Satyam?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So my next question will be, what is the motivation for your leadership? And as a leader, how will you measure your success?
motivation of a leadership is when you build a wonderful team, when you see that this team is able to work even without you, when you see that the team is working proactively, where a motivation for a leader is when you must have read the quotation, a leader is continuously making other leaders. A leader is not weeping around, or a leader is not just demanding and asking them to do the, giving them, assigning them with tasks and asking for reports. A leader is creating other leaders basically. So it's very motivational when you see somebody who worked under you for many years is now getting apprised in a very, very positive way and doing very well, or even maybe when he is getting a very good job with a very good jump, then you see that it is a problem for your team, of course, is losing a wonderful participant from your team. But at the same time, you see that you have created someone who is worth it. Okay, that is basically the motivation. And definitely the another motivation is completing your assignments in time. If you are not able to stick to your tat, then it's of no use to work at all. See, any deliverable after the tat is no deliverable at all. It loses its essence. So those are the motivations basically.
Okay, ma'am. So my last question will be, what are some issues you have personally faced while working with your team, and how have you managed those issues?
Some issues are like some very silly issue is wrong recruitments. You know, it happens when you're working in very large scale. See, our total team size is around 300. So it happens that suddenly you have to recruit a lot of people for some new assignments and all. And you see at the end of the day that 20% out of those new recruitments are not delivering, are not capable, not understanding, not able to work in your speed. So those are very big problems. Another very petty issue is managing your assets, company assets. Somebody you assign with a job and you send a laptop to him. Next day he leaves the job and keeps the laptop. Okay, this is like very, very common and very silly issue. So other than that, yeah, these internal conflicts when they come up. Suppose you are working in high speed for achieving some assignments, you have to deliver it on the next day. Then three of your very important team members come to you and say that we are not able to work together because we are fighting. So those are the silly issues basically. So this can wait. We are not dying tomorrow. We are delivering the job tomorrow, then we can solve our issues. Okay. Then immediately what you can do is you can immediately shuffle the work a little. You can do a little rostering of their timing, their work schedule and all that, but you cannot stop the work, or you cannot pull one person out of the team. So these are basically the issues.
Okay, ma'am. So my set of questions are over, and now Tushar will take over.
And Satyam, can I just come back to you? Like there is one more issue that is that we face, because we are working with grassroots level people. This interaction becomes a big problem. A language problem. We work pan India. Okay, so somebody speaks in Telugu, somebody speaks in very native Bengali or very native Bihari. We don't have the capacity to even understand. Forget about solving their problems. So these creates issues sometimes also. Okay.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, the first question that I want to ask them, how would you create a positive work culture in the organizations?
Positive work culture in my organization. Um, see, positive work culture in my organization is by choosing correct people, assigning them with the correct amount of correct amount and correct type of work. It is we have to see that the wrong work doesn't go to the wrong person. I mean, we have to find out the correct skill set for the person and do that. And when you talk about positive work culture, you have to practice them yourselves. You know, you cannot just sit in your chair and preach. You do this, you do that, this is the rule, you should do that. No, you practice it, you show it, be charismatic in your management skills. You practice it, you show them, and they'll follow you. They, without even knowing, they start following you. That is how the positive work culture is. And another thing is, we are all human beings, so we get pissed off with other people. We get pissed off with situation. We get pissed off with our integrators, service providers, even other departments. Suppose the department that is providing technology or the customer care is giving wrong information or anything, but please restrain from immediately saying anything bad or very open to any of them. Okay, call a meeting, frame your mindset properly, and then say it. It creates positivity. It creates a lot of positivity. You will see, being I am the founder director of the organization, I am angry about something, I come out of my chamber, I thrash somebody left and right. It is not good for me. It is not good for the person who is being told all this. It is not even good for the people who are listening to this. They think that we are working so hard and one day we make a mistake and it comes up to us like this. So you have to restrain your behavior and you have to set example yourself of positivity so that the whole thing becomes positive.
Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, second question is, ma'am, how will you guide your team to improve or develop their individual skills?
See, how I guide is, in the beginning, I it's not I, it's we. Basically, we make training sessions. We design training sessions for them. After the training, they go hand in hand for a while. Then they are given a lot of freedom of work to understand how good they are understanding, how good they are trying to deliver properly, and how is their level of commitment. So if they don't have the freedom of work, it is difficult for us also to understand that how they'll come up in future, what amount of responsibility you can actually assign with them, what actually you can expect from them. Okay. And I guide my team. See, being in the fintech industry, this is one industry which is working in high speed because everything is happening now. Okay. And everybody is dealing with cash, money. So it cannot wait. So the speed and efficiency and the knowledge about TAT and why the TAT is introduced, based on what the TAT is introduced, you have to know that. Otherwise, it is very difficult to keep at par with the industry. And that's how they're basically developed. And there are some cases where, you know, they have to interact with somebody, maybe say from very higher background, okay, where they have to brush up their communication skills. Okay, somebody suppose is very specific. I do this, I know only this, I don't know what is happening overall. So this is also important that they attain trainings, and that's how they develop themselves.
And the last question that I want to ask, ma'am, what are the some external and internal factors that makes your team more effective and motivates them?
External factor is the basically the need of the industry. Where you are working, you understand the need of your department. But if you don't know overall the need of the industry, it is not possible for you to be completely motivated. At the end of the day, you are going home knowing that I am delivering this for my department, or at the most I am delivering this for my organization. But when you know that what part you are taking in the whole of fintech industry, that will motivate you. Because getting the whole picture is always important. Overall knowledge is always important. You have to know the importance of your deliverables. If you're not delivering in time, you must know what can happen at the other end. I will give you one small example. Like, we do DMT, domestic money transfer. Think of a migrant labor. He has 10,000 rupees in hand. He comes to a shop which is serving for us. He gives us the money and he says that please send it to my wife's account in the village. She is waiting there. She doesn't have any other source of income. My son is ailing. She has to withdraw the money tomorrow morning and has to take her to the hospital. Nobody comes to a shop and tells such a big story, and even if he says, it doesn't come to us. But you have to know the importance. And now, while doing the DMT, suppose that money is stuck somewhere in the system. If the customer care department doesn't know the importance, doesn't understand the value of the money for that migrant labor, he doesn't have any extra 10,000 that he can again send through some other source. And even his wife doesn't have any extra 10,000 with which he can treat his son the next morning. This customer care authority has to act like this is her own money which is stuck. And if it is not being solved immediately, it will make a lot of difference in the lives of those people who you are catering to. So if you don't have the overall knowledge, it will never come to your mind, and you will never know the need of the industry. And also you have to know where you are positioned, how people are looking up to you. Your behavioral pattern has to be according to that, where you are positioned. You are just a startup. If you're just a startup, you will behave like only the tat will be your view, your goal. And when you're growing a little, you will think about your competitions, who is positioned where are you positioned, what services they are providing, what services you can provide but you are not providing, what services you are not good at, what services are not working properly for you. You need to do more technology interference in those services. So these are the points basically, these are the internal factors where your team becomes more effective. It is basically knowledge. Knowledge is the power here, nothing else.
And well answered, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. That's it
Thank
from
you,
my
thank
side.
you. Thank you. And the questions are very, very well framed. I had a lovely time with you guys. I hope it helped. And
Yes, ma'am.
as I said before also, I can make a list of our services, products, and some backgrounds or whatever you need. Let me know. I will send it to you in writing so that you have a better idea of it. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am,
Thank
for the
you.
wonderful
Thank you so much,
answers.
ma'am.
We had a great time.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best, all of you. Bye bye.